Hi everyone. It's a real shame this can't be done in person. I know there's quite a few familiar faces in the audience there. Instead, you'll have to settle for the inside of my North London flat, probably with my gaming headset somewhere in the background. Anyway, before we get into the content, again, I want to make it super clear that I am not in any way, shape or form an originator of ideas. It's quite the opposite, actually. Everything I know about sales has been taken from other people. And more specifically, everything that I'm going to talk to you about today was taken from a sales coach of mine called Jamal Reimer. Jamal's coaching has been incredibly pivotal to my development as a software salesperson. And everything that he's taught me has had a direct impact on my ability to close bigger deals. So I thought, given it's been so helpful for me, this is the perfect opportunity to share my learnings with everyone else. So moving on to the topic, selling with executives. Given the short amount of time, I really want to focus this conversation on three main areas. Firstly, by using the pull of your executives to engage higher up, much earlier on in your outbounding. Second is around multi-threading, so bringing executives into your deal, enabling them to build their own relationships. And finally, it's about using executives to help you close your deal. So to kick off with outbounding, when we're faced with getting into bigger accounts, it's fair to say that we feel like we've got a bit of a mountain to climb. And I guess in many respects, this is actually true. We, like many other salespeople, are like mountaineers. We're climbing up the side of a mountain. We're speaking to those junior and mid-level stakeholders. All of this is in an attempt to get access to that economic buyer, that decision maker. But what if you didn't take that approach, the same as everyone else? What if executives help you go right to the top? A good example of this is where, in one instance, I reached out to a C-level prospect with my COO on copy, offering to share insights on how to optimize expansion into Europe whilst minimizing customer churn. And of course, as my COO has scaled a business across 4 regions, he's several successful B2C tech exits under his belt. He's raised over $250 million. This immediately makes me more than just a salesperson. This shows that I not only understand their business and what they're doing, but it makes me a connector of successful people. So this outbound strategy means that your chances of that decision maker mobilizing resource to further explore your solution, it's exponentially higher. It's far higher than if you were to enter that conversation as a solo salesperson looking for a discovery call with a mid-level stakeholder. So now you have an open opportunity. They've agreed to explore your solution. Multi-threading your deal is about bringing other stakeholders into the conversation. But bringing in your SE into the fold, as is, I'm sure, standard procedure for many of you, and involving an executive produces quite different results. Quite recently for me, I had a deal where we ticked every single box from a product perspective, a brand perspective, and even price. But the fear of migration was so great that the whole deal was at risk. So when I brought in our chief customer officer, Pat Phelan, who of course oversees our onboarding function, when I brought him in to meet the project team and then ultimately their CFO, the tone of the conversation completely changed. It was Pat's personal guarantee to oversee the migration that filled the customer with confidence. This meant that we'd not only mitigated the risk of losing the deal, but we were now engaged at a much more senior level. So we strengthened ties across the account. We were strategically aligned at company level. And importantly, we were engaged at a much more senior level. So this, of course, increases my visibility of the deal. And finally, once executives are involved in the deal, this no longer becomes just your deal. This becomes our deal. Your executive has a much bigger vested interest here. So this worked incredibly well for me in a deal earlier this year. As Hiroki, our CEO, was involved in the deal, it meant he had direct and unfettered access to the decision maker. So was able to provide me with super valuable intel. In this case, Hiroki told me that there were specific problems around our partner integration. So if they were to sign with GoCardless, it would be on the basis that we got this problem fixed, but also it would be next month. So what does this mean for me? Well, first of all, of course, I asked our SE to look into the problem of the partner integration. But second, this meant for reporting purposes, I could let my manager know that as soon as this partner problem had been fixed, I'd be moving the deal into commit and chase to close next month. So all this, of course, and most importantly, has increased my propensity to actually close the deal. So to summarize here, by going in at the top, armed with valuable insight delivered by a respected peer, I'm able to mobilize customer resources to explore the solution now. And once executives are involved in the deal, they can help you move the deal forward, they can help you identify and mitigate risks, and ultimately, your executive can help you close the deal. I hope this was helpful, and I look forward to any questions you have afterwards.